Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The government says BPL overtime payments are unacceptable. The Davis administration siding with BPL's board in that dispute. Meanwhile, the Electrical Workers Union president calls the leaked overtime information a distraction. And the Bar Association says it's disappointed with the Attorney General's comments on the power outages that affected the courts this week. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, August 14th, 2026. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, my special guest co-host today, Cherie Smith-Munnings, will be joining us. Also this morning in business, we'll be talking with the Bahamas Protected Areas Fund, finding out the work they're doing and the information they're trying to get out to folks. That's all ahead this morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, as tensions between the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union and the Bahamas Power and Light reaching a boiling point this week over a new overtime policy, the government yesterday coming out in support of BPL's board, labeling a $20 million annual overtime bill unacceptable and unsustainable. The union threatened industrial action on Wednesday over the new policy, which it said contradicts an industrial agreement signed less than 2 months ago. Reports have since emerged that the new policy was introduced in response to excessive overtime accumulated by a handful of employees, one of whom is said to be the union president, Kyle Wilson. In a statement yesterday, the government said there needs to be a more transparent, accountable, and sustainable overtime system. It said it recognized that overtime is sometimes necessary to maintain reliable electricity and to respond to emergencies and to protect public safety, but it said that an overtime bill approaching $20 million annually is unsustainable and unacceptable, saying, quote, it places an unreasonable burden on BPL's finances and ultimately on the Bahamian people. It said this reform is not intended to prevent legitimate overtime or deny employees compensation that is approved. Its purpose is to ensure that overtime is necessary, fairly allocated, properly authorized, and fully documented. Well, the Tribune reported yesterday that 3 employees on the Fuel and Performance Department received a total of $601,295.16 in overtime pay between May last year and April of this year. The National Guardian has been told that BPL employees have to oversee the transfer of fuel at BPL 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Union President Kyle Wilson said that if overtime payment was such an issue, it should have been addressed before BPL, and the union agreed to and signed a new industrial agreement in June. Wilson's also saying that reports that he and 2 other employees at BPL took hundreds of thousands of dollars in overtime pay are an attempt to distract from the current power crisis. He said, quote, "No one has ever complained about what someone is paid or how they work. People are complaining about the widespread outages and the long days and days without power that they're paying a lot of money for. That's what we need to focus on. Don't allow the chairlady of the BPL board practice as a nation from her failures." Wilson said on Wednesday that the union filed a trade dispute with the Ministry of Labor against BPL after the board implemented that new overtime policy. Russian President Khalil Parker says Attorney General Wayne Monroe's response to the Supreme Court's closure due to a power outage was disappointing. He said it lacked any mention of any specific steps the government is taking to make sure the situation does not continue. In a statement issued by the Bar Association, Parker said the operations of the country's court system should not be trivialized, adding that the court's access to a consistent and reliable supply of power is a matter of national and constitutional significance. After power cuts led to the closure of parts of the Supreme Court in New Providence on Tuesday, Monroe saying in a day later that he hoped the Court Services Council, of which Parker is a member, would take action to ensure that future outages do not create delays within the system. Parker says Monroe's comments offered no meaningful information as to how the issue will be resolved in the medium and long term. A meeting is in the works between the the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Chester Cooper, and the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union to address long-standing concerns related to promotions and a new industrial agreement. Union President Stephen McPhee saying that the minister reached out to the union in an effort to work in harmony to ensure the smooth reopening of school in time for the academic year. A Haitian woman charged in a deadly hit-and-run accident has been granted $9,000 bail. 40-year-old Madeline Eugene is accused of running over 52-year-old Jimenez Baptiste with a white van as he walked along Damien Way off Calpen Road in New Providence back on July 27th. She's charged with causing Baptiste's death by dangerous driving last week. However, Acting Chief Magistrate Ancella Evans remanded her into custody pending a decision on bail. As a condition of bail, Eugene must sign in weekly at the Carmichael Road Police Station. She's been in the country on a work permit for over 10 years. She returns to court on November 25th to receive a voluntary bill of indictment that will send her case to the Supreme Court for trial. And an American man avoiding spending 2 years in prison on firearms and drug charges after paying a $16,500 in fines. 42-year-old Alan Fogel was arrested in Inagua on August 10th when officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit found contraband on his sports fishing vessel during a search. Officers seized a .38 caliber revolver that contained 9 rounds of ammunition and 64 cans of marijuana-infused drinks. Fogel appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Ancella Evans from Inagua via Zoom. He pleaded guilty to possession of an unlicensed firearm, ammunition, and marijuana. He was fined $10,000 for the gun, $5,000 for the ammunition, and $1,500 on the drug charges. Fogel. Well, the charges were withdrawn against some companions, including a Mexican national, Miguel Palma. Overseas, Russian jet-powered drones struck a home in northern Ukraine today, killing a 29-year-old woman and her 9-year-old son. The strike coming a day after the United Nations said July was the deadliest month for Ukrainian civilians since the weeks following Moscow's all-out invasion of its neighbor more than 4 years ago. At least 437 civilians were killed and 2,610 wounded last month, according to the UN monitoring mission in Kyiv, as Russia escalated its bombing of Ukraine towns and cities. Overall, since Russia's invasion on February 24th, 2022, UN human rights monitors say the war has killed at least 16,874 civilians, including 820 children, and has wounded 51,273, including 3,226 children. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces extended their long-range strike campaign against Russian infrastructure, hitting a port in the Leningrad region just north of Moscow and starting a brief fire. That port is one of Russia's largest oil and gas export terminals, located more than 500 miles from Ukraine. It's been a frequent target of Ukrainians the summer began, as Kyiv seeks to undermine Russian oil exports that provide Moscow with vital revenue for its war effort. With arms raised and fists clenched, rescuers in Colombia calling for silence Thursday as they listened for signs of life in the rubble of that deadly earthquake and a race to pull more survivors from the debris before time runs out. The call for quiet was part of last-ditch efforts to find anyone still alive after the 7.4 magnitude quake that struck the South American country on Monday, killing more than 280 people now and leaving hundreds more missing. Aid agencies consider the first 2 or 3 days after a quake to be the prime window for retrieving survivors. People trapped in debris can live longer if they have access to food and water. The death toll rose to 281 Thursday, with another 348 people rescued. And separatists in northern Mali have released 82 soldiers, including some taken captive during a nationwide attack on government forces in April. A statement from the Malian armed forces say that the freed soldiers are now safe and being cared for by the relevant authorities. Mali has been plagued for over a decade by insurgencies by militants affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group. Violence escalated in recent months after an alliance between one group and Tuareg separatists carried out coordinated attacks on April 25th, targeting the airport of the country's capital and nearby towns. April's attacks exposing weaknesses of the strategy to combat the rebellion, including relying on Russia, which has partnered with the military-led government after distancing itself from other allies such as France. And from the UK, Nigel Farage beat a trash can wearing comic, calling himself Count Binface, to regain the seat in Parliament he quit a month ago to trigger the widely mocked special election. Farage, the leader of the Anti-Immigration Reform UK party, who some see as a possible next Prime Minister, abruptly quit his seat in July amid an investigation into whether he failed to report a £5 million or $6.7 million gift from a crypto billionaire overseas. He said he would run for the open seat to prove he had voter support and regained it with 63% of Thursday's vote. Binface, who finished second, won about 27%, according to the results released today. The election, held on the hottest day of the year so far, had turnout of only about 44%. Count Binface, a serial candidate who has challenged prime ministers past and present, became the default challenger in a field of 34 candidates after the major parties boycotted the campaign as a political stunt by Farage. Farage hailed the result as an overwhelming win, with 1,000 more votes than he earned when he first decided to run 2 years ago, with 46% of the vote share. Turnout during the 2024 general election was nearly 60%, and he faced a more robust field of mainstream candidates. Farage still faces an investigation, though, over the undeclared donation.
This is Sports Update.
In sports, after what he described as a disappointing result from the 2026 Commonwealth Games, Bahamian professional boxer Carl Heald is looking to bounce back in his next bout on the professional circuit, fighting on the card at the Boxeo and Santa Marta show in Colombia this Saturday. Heald is on tap to defend both his titles, the World Boxing Association's Fedicaribe Super Welterweight and the National Boxing Association's Latin Super Welterweight titles, against Colombian pro boxer Oscar Guerrero. Currently, Guerrero owns a 16-10 win-loss record with a total of 13 victories coming by way of knockout. Meanwhile, Heald has taken the professional ranks by storm, emerging with an unblemished 16-0 record and 16 knockouts to date. More on what he's expecting Saturday in today's Guardian Sports section. Meanwhile, the boxing community in the country has added another layer to youth development. The Bahamas Boxing Academy officially launching its inaugural summer boxing camp, giving boys and girls an opportunity to learn the sport, develop their character, and transform their skills. The 5-day camp is scheduled to run until August 16th at the Bahamas Boxing Academy, welcoming 70 aspiring young boxers from New Providence and the All Out Boxing Club in Freeport. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for South Andros as of 7 o'clock this morning until 9 o'clock. Some of these thunderstorms will be severe at times, causing strong, gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, and possible waterspout or tornadic activity. Boaters in this area should seek safe harbor, and residents should be alert, staying indoors and away from windows if conditions worsen. So again, that's in effect until 9 o'clock this morning, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for South Andros and its adjacent waters and keys. So with your weather for today, we've got a heat advisory in effect for the entire country again today, and a near gale warning in effect for the southeast Bahamas until 6 p.m. Residents should exercise extreme caution along Atlantic-facing coastal roadways in the southeast Bahamas due to wind-driven waves that may cause overtopping waves and coastal flooding. So troughing across the country continues to enhance shower and thunderstorm activity across parts of the country while moving westward. Meanwhile, high-pressure ridging and pockets of Saharan dust will produce very warm temperatures while reducing shower chances for some of the islands. Breezy conditions will continue over the southern half of the country, while a weaker wind regime will persist for the northern islands. For today, there is a high risk of rip currents for the central and southeast Bahamas, and again another day with UV indices in the very high to extreme range, and a marginal to moderate risk for isolated strong to possibly severe thunderstorms for parts of the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas today through tonight. Your forecast for today: most areas looking at a mix of sun and clouds, becoming partly cloudy at times. A 20 to 30% chance of showers with isolated thunderstorms for the northern half of the country. 10 to 30% chance for the central and southeast Bahamas. Winds southeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times, becoming east to southeast by tonight for the northernmost islands. Higher gusts expected for the northwest Bahamas before shifting to east to southeast at 15 knots. And the central and southeast islands looking at east to southeast at 15 knots, 15 to 25 knots, with higher gusts for the central islands and gusts to near gale force possible for the southeastern islands. High temperatures today look for 92, 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. The heat index will make you feel like it's anywhere from 104 to 108 Fahrenheit, 40 to 42 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to as high as 82 to 84 Fahrenheit, 28 to 29 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance Made Simple. You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
At RBC, we think it's your ideas that build a life. And sometimes to keep an idea moving forward, you need a little help. That's why with the loan from RBC, there are no upfront bank fees. And with up to 100% financing, up to 10 years to repay, and competitive rates and terms, there's never been a better time to start the conversation. Let's talk loans. Visit rbc.com/loans today. Your idea of getting there happens here. Conditions apply, subject to normal lending criteria.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's, Clarkson, Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Did you know that world-class medicine is just a quick flight away in Tampa? Tampa General is Florida's premier academic health system and one of America's top hospitals. Our global medicine program delivers advanced treatment options, assists with coordinating travel, and provides cultural support from a multilingual team. Discover the power of academic medicine at Tampa General's Global Medicine Program. For more, visit tgh.org/global medicine.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. At Print Masters, bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Hear your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Cool. I just paid my insurance premium online.
That is cool. But how about an insurance portal that does that and more? NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers gives you access to a full-service insurance portal where you can get an instant quote, renew, pay, and manage your documents. All fully online. With NUA, you have so much more than just a payment portal. You have a complete insurance portal. Start now with an instant quote at nuainsurance.com.
Headed to South Florida soon? Holiday Inn Express in Plantation welcomes you to the heartbeat of Florida fun. Whether it's business or pleasure, the Holiday Inn Express is close to sensational shopping, captivating dining, and nightlife. Elevate your Florida experience. Sleep well and rest easy at Holiday Inn Express. Complimentary breakfast buffet featuring seasonal favorites. Keep up your fitness routine in our 24-hour on-site fitness center with cardio equipment and free weights, or take a refreshing swim in our outdoor pool. Your special Bahamas tourist rate awaits. Holiday Inn Express, 1701 North University Drive, in Plantation. Book your getaway now. Call directly at 954-472-5600 or the sales department for reservations and additional information.
Everybody Wins Live, the winning is bigger, the action is hotter, and the excitement never stops. We're giving away thousands in cash and free spins every month through our high-paying casino tournament. From Spin-Off to Spin Rush to our high-energy slot race tournament, your next spin can turn into your next payday. But that's not all. Lottery players can chase the jackpot, where every $10 lottery spend gets you one step closer to bursting the next jackpot. Will you be our next winner? What are you waiting for? Visit Everybody Wins Live to see all the ways you can cash in.
New school year, new gear. From uniforms to laptops, a Fidelity personal loan can help you check every item off of your kid's school list. Jump into back-to-school season with ease. Apply for a Fidelity personal loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Got a special guest co-host today, Cherie Smith-Muddings.
Good morning.
Good to have you back with us.
Nice to be back, Dwight.
Soon time for school to start, eh?
Oh, please don't mention that.
Oh, no. So, I don't know if we'll have...
one more week.
One more week.
For teachers, we'll be back.
Oh, boy.
Some are already back, though.
Yeah. Some schools are opening next week.
Mm-hmm.
So the traffic is...
Yeah, it's going to pick up.
It's going to pick up. So keep that in mind. Monday, if you've been leaving a little bit later, leave a little bit earlier. Because it's amazing. It's only a couple of schools, if not only one, yet the difference that makes.
Mm-hmm. If you're coming from west to east, you have to leave at least by 7.
And east to west by, 6:30?
6.
It's going to be
Sorry
interesting.
to say.
And then, God help you, in 2 weeks. But, wow. But you seem so excited to be going back to school.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's no excitement here. But, we have to go back and teach the little ones.
Yeah.
They're the future.
That's what they say. Yes. All right. So, anyway, we're happy to have you here before you go back. And always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up this morning, a lot to talk about in the news, but also in business. We're going to be talking with the Bahamas Protected Areas Fund. They've got some great information they're going to be sharing with all of you today. So that's coming up this morning. Let's get right into what else is in the news. And before we get into what's in the news, just letting you know, you've been hearing us talk about it for weeks. You've been getting your Nassau Guardians. It's been an amazing promotion. It's a success. Everyone's very impressed with this. You all got your papers for the Summer Escape giveaway. The deadline to enter was the 12th, and the drawing is today. Today, someone's going to find out who's going on this summer giveaway. So one lucky listener is about to win this Friday between 12 and 2 p.m. So one name's going to be drawn live, and it could be you if you entered, and many of you did. So whatever you're doing, make sure that you're listening to Guardian 96.9 today, or our sister station, Star 106.5, but Guardian Radio 96.9 today. Make sure you're listening, and keep your phone close. If your name is called, you must answer when we call to claim the prize. So if you have any meetings scheduled, tell them you got to wait till after 2. If you don't answer, well, they're going to have to draw another name and keep drawing until they find a winner. So make sure you are free between 12 and 2 and keep listening to Guardian Radio because your name may be called between 12 and 2. One call, one winner, one unforgettable summer escape. Don't miss it.
Well, I have my...
Did you enter?
Entries are in, yes.
Okay. All right.
So I'll have my phone open and ready.
Good luck. Good luck to you and to everybody who entered. Okay, wonderful stuff today. So let's get into it. BPL. BPL in the news again. And yesterday we told you about it. The union very upset about a change in the overtime policy, which they say goes against their industrial agreement. And yesterday there was leaked information on how many people, only apparently 3, were making $600,000, made that much in a year from overtime. And now the union president saying that leak was intentional and a distraction.
Well, that's a big distraction.
Well, if you're easily distracted, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So the government has come out and they are siding with BPL's board, and they are saying that, yes, this type of overtime, these overtime payments are unacceptable. They issued a long statement yesterday. I'm going to read the whole statement for you, and we'll get to what Kyle Wilson with the union is saying, and I want to get your views on all of this. So this is the statement by the government of the Bahamas on the Bahamas Power and Light's new overtime policy. So over the past several months, the government of the Bahamas, through the board and executive leadership of Bahamas Power and Light, BPL, has engaged with the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, the Bahamas Electrical Utility Managerial Union, and other relevant stakeholders on the need for a more transparent, accountable, and sustainable overtime system. The government recognizes that overtime is sometimes necessary to maintain reliable electricity service, respond to emergencies, and protect public safety. However, an overtime bill approaching $20 million is unsustainable and unacceptable. It places an unreasonable burden on BPL's finances and ultimately on the Bahamian people. This reform is not intended to prevent legitimate overtime or deny employees compensation that is approved. Its purpose is to ensure that fairly allocated, properly authorized, and fully documented. It is also intended to reduce excessive working hours and the fatigue-related risks they create for employees, their colleagues, and the public. The approved overtime policy introduces important checks and balances, including 1. Prior approval for planned overtime and at least 2 levels of authorization for all overtime submissions. 2. Supporting reports and documentation for emergency overtime. 3. Accurate clock-in, clock-out, and timekeeping requirements. 4. Monthly reviews of overtime expenditure against approved budgets. 5. Overtime caps and management reviews where employees repeatedly reach those caps or receive overtime payments exceeding established thresholds. 6. A clear link between approved work programs and the overtime hours worked. And 7, is that right? Yeah. Fatigue protections requiring relief planning after 12 continuous hours, a maximum of 16 continuous hours, and mandatory rest before an employee resumes duty. These measures are necessary to strengthen financial management, improve workforce planning, and ensure that BPL's resources are directed toward delivering safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. Bahamas Power and Light is seeking to ensure that the usual patterns and anomalies identified during the review of overtime practices do not occur or recur. The review is focused on strengthening the system and its processes and is not intended to target individual employees. The existing system has allowed overtime expenditure to grow to approximately $20 million annually, an unsustainable level that cannot be allowed to continue. The new policy, therefore, establishes stronger checks and balances, clearer reporting requirements, and accountability at every level. Managers and directors will be specifically responsible for properly authorizing, documenting, monitoring, and reporting overtime within their respective areas. Any suspected irregularity will be examined fairly and objectively. Where wrongdoing, negligence, or a failure of oversight is established, whether involving an employee, manager, director, or other responsible officer, the appropriate action will be taken in accordance with the law, applicable industrial agreements, company policies, and due process. BPL will not prejudge any individual or draw conclusions before the relevant facts have been properly established. The government acknowledges the right of union leaders to express concerns about or opposition to the policy. It will not speculate about the motives of any union president or representative who disagrees with the policy. Okay. Constructive dialogue will continue, and legitimate concerns will be considered. Nevertheless, the government has a responsibility to protect workers, safeguard public funds, and ensure that BPL operates safely, transparently, and in the national interest. The approved overtime policy is therefore expected to be implemented consistently and fairly across BPL. The government expects the cooperation of management, employees, and union representatives in carrying it out. The Bahamian people rightly expect transparency, accountability, and value for money from public corporations. The government remains committed to those principles and to building a safer, fairer, and more financially responsible BPL. Okay.
7.
Mm-hmm.
The number of the day is 7.
Oh, wow. Okay. There you go. That's a lot. That's a lot there. Let's get your reaction to that. I mean, that's perfectly reasonable. I don't think there's anything unreasonable in there.
My thing is, Dwight, what were the measures in place before? Because you mean to tell me they didn't even have something as basic as a clock-in system, like a clock-in system where, it's kind of, you can that's easy. I can go and see if Dwight clocked in, clocked out. What was in place before?
I suspect many of those things were in place,
But just not being overseen.
but I could see perhaps like the one where you 48 hours straight almost. I could see where that could be abused.
But that number is gross. Like, seriously, over 20 million a year? Come on.
Well,
What were
I
they
mean,
making an hour?
There've been a lot of outages. There've been a lot of
That's
things
true,
that happen
too.
at weird times.
But I think that this is a big distraction. But it also brings exposure to what has been going on.
Mhm.
Because you need transparency, and that especially right there.
Yeah.
You need to know what's going on, who's working, how they're working, and what they're doing. Because some people just go, there are a lot of people who go to work. I've seen them in sorry to say, in government, and some of them are just looking at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Why should I pay you?
And people have said it. People know it. You have an outage. Something's wrong, and it seems the work doesn't really get started until after 5-6 o'clock p.m.
Yes, and if you know you're getting a certain amount of overtime, yes, I
Mhm.
will kind of delay. Some dishonest people would delay the process as
Yeah.
well.
Okay, let's get your reaction. We'll get to Kyle Wilson, the union president, the Electrical Workers Union president's comments in a bit. But you used the word distraction. He's using that word distraction. It's that is a very interesting word. Last week it was EVs. This week overtime. I tell you, PlayStation's coming up soon. But let's hear from you. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Good morning. Are you there? I hear something.
Hello?
Hi. Yes, good morning. You're live.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. Let me first preface my comment by saying that I think that it's an exorbitant amount, particularly for 3 employees. However, I think that it speaks to the management of the corporation, because no employee can just decide that they are working overtime without being asked to.
Yeah.
And historically, we know that this is not a new issue for BPL. This has been going on from the time that I can remember. I remember under Minister Leslie Miller, this point has came up before, and they have failed to address this exact situation. So it speaks to the management in BPL. And thirdly, we cannot negate the fact that the poor service that BPL has been giving the population, that this it is a distraction, maybe a good one. However, the service is still poor to the Bahamian people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. It's been going on for decades. Thank you so much. Yeah, so whip that one out of the bag so they don't look over there at the literal fires going on. We're going to get to Wilson in a bit. He made some interesting comments yesterday about BGC and how they are the BPL workers are the ones who are helping them out because they don't really have anybody. And again, we keep trying to understand what the Prime Minister meant when he said a couple weeks ago that the institutional knowledge is no longer at BPL and BGC. So is this why there are only a few employees who are getting such an exorbitant amount of the overtime? Because of the what? You don't buy it?
No, I agree. I mean, I somewhat agree with what he's saying, But let's look at it from, all right, let's look at it from his perspective. Yeah, there are just a few, and I agree with what the caller just said.
Mm-hmm.
Because management, you have to kind of put a little bit of the blame on management as well. If they are agreeing and they are calling these people in to get these overtimes or to work, you can't really blame him for that. But the amount that they're making, like seriously, I want to see the records. I want to see the records for everyone that's been on.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's been working under them.
What are you going to be looking for, and what will it do for you to see it?
You need to see it because I want to see how it's broken down.
You want to see what their skill set is? And
skill set, because
do?
that's what he's saying. He's saying that we had to call in these other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to see if it's evenly, across the board.
Right.
So I want to see
how many hours it took them to just flip that switch.
Dwight, do you make $200,000 a year in overtime?
I don't know if I have in a lifetime.
Okay. This is what I'm saying. Boy. You know what that is? Come on.
No, I don't. Continue to call 323-62321 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free 242-300-5720. I do think it's interesting that statement was issued, but there was no clarification on some of the things said last week at the press conference about the EVs and about the beach. Maybe they don't need to respond to the beach thing. No one should respond to that nonsense.
But all they're doing is taking.
But what's that about?
They're taking the ball and just kicking it to the next person, and just bringing up these things, bringing up something else. When we know the major issue here, fix the light problem. All right, but it's also bringing to light, like I said, all of these issues that need to be addressed. The Prime Minister is correct. These need to be addressed. Yes, he has 7 points that he's trying to put into place, but they need to be addressed, and they need to be taken care
Well,
of.
whoever issued the statement, we don't know if it was the Prime Minister, but yeah, the government. The government.
He said
sure.
he's on the paper this morning, so he's siding with the BPL board.
Yes, the Davis administration.
But they're just kicking the ball from one person to the next and never answering the full question here. We only want our light on.
Yeah. Exactly. This person says here, caller, we'll get to you in a second. Of course, the government is siding with the board. Maybe they can release the list of government officials with shares in BGC, which is 3 years later incapable of supplying qualified staff to manage the T&D network, a management function that they are being paid $8 million per month to do.
Oh my God.
Please, government, issue another statement on how you will safeguard the public's funds from BGC that are apparently not structured to fulfill the contract they entered into for the management of the T&D network. Yeah, that's what you're going to do, right? It's not working. It's not working. I know you said growing pains, but this can't be. This can't be considered growing pains. This person says here, this is such BS. This statement from the government is garbage. They really think we are imbeciles. OMG, how insulting to send this out. The schedule and overtime document is Management 101. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, I don't think some of those things were definitely happening, but they just wanted to say these are the things you have to make sure are happening.
They just want you to know what's going on. We're going to put these in place.
Yeah.
But you're right. A good manager, these things should be already in place and moving forward.
You two seem like hardworking, still young Bahamians. Thank you for that. Do you think it's possible to work 18 hours, 24 hours, and 24 hours in 3 consecutive days? This needs to be criminally investigated.
Yeah, you need your sleep. But, if I was making a certain amount over time,
anything's possible
I would make it
if you could make that
happen.
amount of money.
Yeah, 24
You'd be surprised what the body could do.
I mean, Red Bull, here I come.
Right? Wow. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
How you all doing?
We're doing well.
Morning.
Let me ask you guys a question. Just for clarity, the amounts that the persons who are being published in relation to this overtime, are they justifying this? The overtime, the $200 and some $1,000 almost per person.
I mean,
individuals, the union, their union president.
well, I mean, I guess. You do follow. I mean, you've been very quiet recently. You do follow the BPL's group, right? I mean, every 5 seconds they're sending out an alert about an outage. So these people are very busy.
Well, Dwight, let me just say something to you. Based on what I saw in a daily, and I'm just trying to understand it. The union president, they estimated, they associated, said that he, in overtime, earned almost $260,000. Did we actually break that down and see how much money that is?
Mm-hmm. You know what also is a large amount of money.
Right.
If
he did that for 6 months, that's $48,000+.
Yeah, that's a lot.
If he did it for 12 months, that's $20-something thousand.
Sure. Let me ask you a
month.
question though. Well, how do you feel about $8 million to BGC, which
First of all, both are nonsense.
Oh, okay.
Both are nonsense. And the fact of the matter is, and I'm just sitting here and I'm trying to think about how in the world you could get to the point where you're making almost $300,000 in overtime pay, and you ain't get fired yet, or whoever allowed it to happen get fired yet.
No, well, the grid is on the verge of collapse, and the company every few minutes has to issue a statement about something going wrong.
Christ, that's robbery.
Well, yeah.
Man,
Okay. But again, are you as outraged about us paying $8 million a month to BGC getting what we're getting?
They're both criminal.
And that's even worse. And to sit down and think about the fact that this is going on in a country where people out here struggling can't basically pay rent. And these brothers them have the
I think you're looking at this the wrong way. If you're an engineer and you're the one that they call on to fix a problem, and then get a clue, right? We talked about it yesterday. I need to go back to school and study engineering of electrical engineering, whatever it is that they're doing, and learn how to be able to take advantage of the situation myself.
No, I just want to be a line worker.
Whatever it is. So if you are watching this, go back to school and get your education, folks, and try to get affiliated with an electrical company somewhere out there in the world. Yeah. But somebody has to approve it, as you said, caller, right? Somebody approved it. And we know there have been lots of issues. All day, all night, all over the place.
And what's going to happen with them? Are they dealing with them?
The issues?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Another weekend approaches. They likes to collapse on the weekend.
And then we'll have another, headline for them next week with some other issue.
Well, the union yesterday said, well, that was the day before, that they are working normal working hours only. Go home after your shift is done. So we'll see. Let's take some more calls, and then we'll get closer to what Wilson had to say in response to this. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're live on the air.
Hello, morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Doing well.
Good. So I just wanted to give some food for thought on this, on the load shedding issue and whatnot. Whereas I do think that it is primarily the providers that have to make sure that we have power. But someone made a comment to me the other day that made me start to think, They said, oh, it was a good thing my air conditioner was on when the electricity went, so it'd be cool. So I think it would be a reasonable discussion to have with the Bahamian public about maybe them load shedding their air conditioning and whatnot when the house gets cool enough to shut it off to at least alleviate some of the demand on the utilities until they can get their act together. I just thought I'd put that there. Maybe others can respond and say why it wouldn't work or why it would. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. We talked about that last week after BPL urged the public to help and to reduce their consumption. And
That was something.
That's been an ongoing discussion for a long time. But people say, hey, if I'm paying for this, I want it, right?
Yeah, please, charge your phone just to $50.
Nobody said that.
Well,
Who said that?
It was almost, to me, it was
That's
just
what it sounded like to you?
Yeah, might as well. Let's just cut down everything.
Okay. That's going to be a tough sell, the air conditioning thing, but this is what we're saying. If it's the Bahamas, it's hot until November from right after Valentine's Day. You have to appreciate that people are going to want to be comfortable, and you have to anticipate the load that you're going to. So just every year, it seems the BPL is not prepared, yet developments are coming on stream all the time. So it's a tough sell, tough ask to get people to not keep the air conditioning on. Yeah, but again, that's another part of the distractions here, right? You are incapable of providing the service to the growing number of people on this island. As more and more of the population moves to New Providence and the family islands are emptied out, but you can't even keep the power on the family islands. So, what were we doing?
And the load over there is not as much. So I don't know. This is just baffling to me, Dwight. I don't know what they're going to do, but this work your shift and go home, yeah, that's a good thing. But, the Bahamian people, let's think about the masses. We're going to be the ones who are suffering. This has to be addressed, and all of these different little things that are going on, come on, get them in check.
Yeah. Okay, let's get another call. We got a kind of trend going with the calls. You notice there's a lot of... Oh, boy. We haven't heard from these folks since around the election time, but a lot are coming back now.
That's this
There's
topic,
a lot of people trying to deflect and
it's all over the
apologize. That's really something. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, are you there? Let's take that other line there. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air. Call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Let's get this in quickly before we have to go to the news. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello, may I speak with Dwight, please?
You're live on the air.
Okay, Dwight, good. Just let me cut off my radio. Let me just say this. Okay, you're talking about BPL, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a former employee at BPL, and I'm familiar with Blue Hills and Clifton Bear. I work for the corporation, I've said before, for almost 40 years. To me, what I'm hearing is astounding. I was one of those persons I was a senior manager at Blue Hills. And we pump fuel sometimes Monday to Friday, or sometimes on the basis of the tanks that we have that what they could the intake, what they could receive. For example, in a nutshell, Blue Hills has 3.5 million gallon tanks. A tank is 39 feet something, B tank is 38 feet something, C tank is 39 feet something. We have several machines in the yard, several. What happens is, if the tank is full, let's just say A tank is 39 something, we put it up to about 38 something. Let's just say that's what the feed is. What we do is, based on how much, like after summer now, we'll be smoking, everything in the yard will be running. So what we do is we don't bring the tank down to zero. With the monitor, the machines in the yard, and how they spread out, you have to, when you get down to like half a tank.
Okay, we have to go to the news. I want you to hold on if you can, or call us back. We want to hear what you have to say.
I'll try it. I'll hold on.
Okay.
I'll hold on.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to go to the news and pick this up on the other side. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:23, time for another check of your weather for today. So a reminder that we've got a severe weather watch, a thunderstorm warning in effect for Andros, South Andros, and its adjacent waters and keys. That's in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. The Department of Meteorology says that some of these thunderstorms will be severe at times, causing strong, gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, hail, and possible waterspout or tornadic activity this morning. We'll keep you updated as to whether this is extended, but that is the situation now. And you could be seeing quite a bit of unsettled weather across the northern half of the country today. We've got quite a bit going on. So we've got troughing across the islands that continues to enhance shower and thunderstorm opportunities across a number of parts of the country. But also high-pressure ridging and pockets of Saharan dust will produce warm conditions while suppressing shower chances for some of the islands. We'll tell you the breakdown in just a bit. In any event, breezy conditions will continue over the southern half of the country, while a weaker wind pattern will be in place for the northern half of the country. So in addition to that warning, we've got a gale watch in effect for the southeast Bahamas and a heat advisory for the entire country, as we're looking at another day of triple-digit heat indices. And the UV index will be in the very high to extreme range again today. The severe weather risk, a marginal to moderate risk for isolated strong to possibly severe thunderstorms for a good portion of the country today, the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas today through tonight. So high-pressure ridging will build across the area, creating mostly stable and hot conditions on Saturday into the new work week. But by midweek, shower chances may increase over the northern islands due to some troughing extending into the area from the north. For today, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds for most areas, becoming partly cloudy at times for the northern half of the country, hazy for the central and southeast Bahamas today. We've got a 10 to 30% chance of showers with isolated thunderstorms across the country. High temperatures expected to be hitting near 92 to 93 Fahrenheit, 33 to 34 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel like it's anywhere from 104 to 108 Fahrenheit, 40 to 42 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a very warm 82 to 84 Fahrenheit, 28 to 29 Celsius. For your weekend, Saturday, tomorrow, partly cloudy for most areas, a 10 to 20% chance of showers. Partly sunny by Sunday, and Monday, expect a mix of sun and clouds. The same for Tuesday into Wednesday. In the tropics, we've got a couple of areas we're watching. We're watching in the central tropical Atlantic, showers and thunderstorms associated with the tropical wave about 650 miles east of the Lesser Antilles. They've become less organized. That system has a 30% chance of formation over the next 7 days. Then in the eastern tropical Atlantic, we've got a tropical wave several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands that's producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. That has a 50% chance of formation over the next 7 days. That's a medium chance as it moves westward or northwestward across the eastern and central Atlantic. Keep an eye on that for you for next week. But that is your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Reminding you that refreshing your home means at Sherwin-Williams, you can look to them for beautiful color, exceptional durability, and professional results every time. Time for a check of traffic. Could be your last day with a relatively easy commute as some schools are reopening next week. Today, right now, we're seeing some slow-moving traffic on Milo Butler Highway. If you're heading northbound just north of Fire Trail, you'll see that all the way up to Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway. And westbound along Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway also looking busy for you as you get closer to that roundabout with Milo Butler Highway. Blue Hill Road near Carmichael, but especially north of Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive, seeing some slow-moving northbound traffic. And Robbins Road looking a bit busy for you just west of Soldier Road if you're heading westbound, straight up to Old Trail. Otherwise, not looking so bad this morning. But again, reminder, next week will be a different story. This traffic alert brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Reminding you that renewing your car insurance is easier than ever before. With NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers, you can renew online in just a few simple steps. Discover everything a full-service online insurance portal can do. Renew online in minutes at nuainsurance.com.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Way through the motions, I try to ignore it, but home's looking farther the closer I get. Don't know why I can't see the end. Is it over yet? A short leash and a short fuse don't match. They tell me it ain't that bad. Now don't you overreact. So I just hold my breath. Don't know why I can't see the sun when young should be fun. And I guess the bad can get better. Gotta be wrong before it's right. Every happy phrase engraved in my mind. And I've always been a go-getter. There's truth in every word I write. But still the growing pains, they're keeping me up at night. And I can't hide, these growing pains are keeping me up at night.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Cherie Smith, Money's my special guest co-host today, and we are talking about the growing pains with BPL. Do we still have our caller on the line? Yeah, I would thank you so much for holding. I know that was a long time. Yes.
I'm still holding on.
Okay, wonderful.
Listen to me carefully. Like I said before, initially, I worked at BPL for almost 40 years. I worked at Blue Hills. I know about what they are talking about in terms of, I'm talking about the fuel specifically.
Mm-hmm. So which part did you find surprising or unacceptable from what was being said? What was
the amount? It is astounding to me that the amount of overtime money is. I want to give you a little insight into why I think it's astounding to me as a senior manager. What happened is I worked shift 8 to 4, 4 to 12, and 12 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
So when we pumped from Blue Hills, you never on overtime to Blue Hills. Not like that, because you have an operations staff, and we are there 24/7. And that's normal time for us under normal circumstances. The Clifton PM, the person that is pumping the fuel from Clifton to Blue Hills, they are normal time, 8 to 4. So what happens is this. Me as a senior manager, when I come to work, I have a station manager, but I basically run the yard. The station manager, he's there, but I run the yard, and anything happens, he comes to me. Okay, you have a blackout, you want a load shed. These are things that I do. Okay, I used to do. But I said I'd say this. When we come in the morning, say I come to work Monday morning, we start pumping from 8 o'clock or 8:30 or 9 o'clock up until, let's just say, and this based on the level of the tanks. If you could remember correctly, initially when I was talking before the break, I told you that Blue Hills has 3.5 million gallon tanks. One is, A tank is 39 feet something, B tank is 38 feet something, C tank is 39 feet something. So what happens is, especially like how this is summer, And this is why it's so astounding to me. Okay? I am a senior manager, but I have a boss. When I start the pump, me and the person now, Clifton Bear, I know that, by the way, I know the players who receive the money, and if they're listening, they know my voice. I know them very well. When we start the pump, say on a normal circumstance, 8:30, 9 o'clock, we pump and we work on the time, say, but hey, based on the level of tank, we stop at 4 o'clock. We stop at 5 o'clock. Okay, the most that would go over sometimes is an hour. Now, with the summer, yes, you have or everything smoking and you're using more fuel. In addition to that, this was a problem we had, but it was never rectified up at the time I retired. We normally used to pump on the two fuel lines from Clifton Pier to Blue Hills. But for a long time, one of them was out of service. Now, with pumping with one fuel line, that takes forever. But still, when you pump in, you don't allow, the most we would pump from 8 o'clock to midnight, and then you restart that morning. And once the tank is full, you ain't got to pump. Sometimes you don't have to pump for 2-3 days. But for all that money to be amassed in overtime, for me personally, what I'm looking at, knowing the inside out of the operation, what comes to me is this. What the senior manager knows when he starts and stops. The station manager gets the report, he knows. Then the director, he got to know. Then you go up the road, they got to know. So my thing is, where did the breakdown occur? In terms of all this overtime, because I've never seen this thing in my lifetime.
Yeah. Let me ask you, I know you might not want to give that too much information, but when did you retire? When did you stop working with BPL?
I retired about a year and a half ago.
So it's not been that long. Okay, so it's not possible that what they do has changed that much.
No, it hasn't. It will never change. Not like that. But what I'm saying is, the man, okay, I had a station manager before. Now, I don't know about the people there, and I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on them. But the station manager who is retired now, just before me, when we are pumping, he always was conscious of BPL monies.
Okay, but let me ask you this. A text is coming in. This is what I'm thinking as well. So we've heard the union leaders say that a lot of it is because they have to go and do things with Bahamas Grid, which is outside of what they normally do for BPL now. So is that not possible that could be where the issues are? You leaving your job to go and do something for another entity which doesn't have any staff because very few took up the package to be seconded to BGC. Could that be where the problems lie?
It's possibly can, but I never, in my time there, that was never a problem. But you know, Pike was there when I was there. Pike was there. And this operation, in terms of the privatization, I was there.
Yeah, well, Pike had their people here, though.
Right, they had the people here, and their people were pretty good.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is this. I have difficulty comprehending, knowing what I know, that somebody need to explain to me who allowed this overtime to get that high.
Okay.
Because under the time that I worked, that would have never happened.
Wow.
That's all I'm not knocking anybody, but I'm just saying, this is astounding to me because that figure's kind of, there's certain steps that people need to give an account as to why these overtimes were allowed to become that astronomical. I don't know.
What is the hourly rate for overtime? I mean, for when you were there.
Say that again.
The hourly rate for overtime.
It depends. Sometimes you could have on a weekend or something. You could have triple times for overtime. Or double time for overtime.
And so what does that look like? About 100?
But see, I was in the senior manager category.
But that's what I want to know because he is manager as well.
He's manager, but he's not a senior manager.
Okay, so what did it look like for you?
He's a manager in the junior union.
Okay.
Okay, he's at the top, from my understanding. He's at the top in his scale, but I was a senior manager. Yeah. So we have a different union.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a different president.
Yeah. So what
But
was
still,
it? What did it look like then? That's all I wanted to know. Like an
what did it look
hour.
like in terms of?
Yeah. If it like you worked a day, like about 5-hour shift overtime. What would that look like for you?
No, I can put it this way: that the amount of money that I hear quoted, that even includes. I mean, that's minor.
All
That's
right.
minor.
So okay.
And that period of time, that type of money is minor. But what I'm saying is from
Yeah.
May 25th to April of this year, with that kind of money, it just, in my view, it just need an independent investigation. That's
Wow.
all it needs.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your contribution here. Things might have changed a bit with BGC in the mix
Dwight,
now.
I think he worked full time for BGC. That's
Oh,
what
wow.
it's looking like here.
Oh well, they
For
because it's
both.
more than one person. But
Yeah.
but hey, who
He had two
works for
full-time
BGC?
jobs.
Who works for BGC? So they might. But yeah, well, this is really quite something else. Quite
And that's
something else.
disturbing. A year and a half ago, he just left.
Yeah.
Like seriously, and he has questions. This.
Okay, let's take this call, and then we want to get to what Wilson is saying now. Let's take it. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there?
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your co-host.
Hi. Good morning.
Hey, Dwight, we crying about the nail that we're sitting on. Can I speak to you a moment, let you know what this means to us? If you look at the money we pay to this elusive company of $8 million a year.
Month.
Huh?
Month.
A month.
Month.
The
Month.
compensation for the exec and the overtime, just the overtime for the BPL. Do you know we could have put in a 150 megawatt plant that would have saved us, when you look at savings of 30 million at minimum in fuel and another $30 million in billable kilowatts. So essentially, just this 1 year alone, we have given up 60. This is a one-time payment. We would have given up $60 million per year in revenue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just want you to see. So you look at that, right? But if we just made that same one-time investment into the infrastructure of BPL with solar or whatever renewable energy, we would have generated $60 million per year, which could have gone towards the legacy debt, further upgrades, whatever else. Now, let's go into the second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year that this has been going on. And the fact is that we have not had an audited statement table brought to the public or anything since 2021. So we don't know what's going on. We don't know anything since the last 2 elections ago. And so, and this is where you ask, where is the accountability? Where is the strategy to resolve some of these issues? You remember the things they keep asking for, these benchmarks? Unless we get it, we're going to get gaslighted, and we're going to be paying billions of dollars over 25 years in inefficiency and capital losses. And that doesn't count the GDP impact and what we have. We have to be in a state of madness if we continue to allow this to go on for another month, 2 months, or 3 months. And this is where it's important. That
Who's the we?
Huh?
Who's the we?
We, as the people.
Oh.
Because they will only do what we allow them to do. And because the quietness, they say silence is a form of consent.
Mm-hmm.
And so essentially we have consented. Just think about it, right? We're talking about a $1 billion, $500 million, $1 billion, whatever amount we want to go in legacy debt. Okay, what if we had made the one-time investment of $150 million and generate enough electricity to pay off even $50 million a year towards that we don't have to subsidize? Do you know the government also subsidized BPL loans to BPL in the tones of tens of millions of dollars for this year alone?
Wow. Yeah.
Got to be mad. We have passed the state of insanity. I don't know what's beyond insane, but we must have hit that benchmark.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. All right, let's get to this report. So this is what the Electrical Workers Union President Guy Wilson is saying. And we heard a lot from what he was saying yesterday, but even more now that the information was leaked to the papers about what certain people have been making in overtime. This is his response in this report from our Vonik Toot.
Amid frequent power outages, Bahamas Electrical Workers Union President Kyle Wilson is calling for the removal of Bahamas Power and Light Chair Christina Alson, while questioning the millions of dollars she says BPL is paying monthly to the Bahamas Grid Company as consumers continue to suffer.
I feel slapped to the face that we have a failed entity. The government gives over $8 million per month to Bahamas Grid Company. The Bahamian people do not know about this deal. There's no paper that we can look at to say what this deal is about, but yet still BPL, Bahamas Power and Light, is paying them $8 million per month. Not only that, they're asking us to procure all of their parts. After we'd have given them the entire inventory of parts in BPL and all of our trucks and vehicles, they're now demanding to get our staff to go over there. But the deal promised that they were going to bring special experts that are going to cure all for this country.
Consumers in several New Providence communities have endured frequent and prolonged power outages this summer, with BPL officials blaming aging infrastructure and above normal temperatures for increased demand on the system. However, Wilson says the persistent power problems are a failure of leadership.
The country is suffering, okay? And yes, still she gets a second term, but she wants to be about distracting the Bahamian people from her failures and the failures of Bahamas Grid Company to provide what it promised the Bahamian people, and we are suffering. The tourism industry is suffering. The small business is suffering. Persons who are running Airbnbs, they are suffering because the guests are not coming here because there's no power. It's always off.
While it was announced 2 years ago that the newly formed Bahamas Grid Company would take over BPL's New Providence transmission and distribution system, BGC Chief Executive Officer Dario McKinsey said recently the transfer of the assets is still ongoing. BGC's role has come under scrutiny as New Providence continues to grapple with an increasingly unreliable power supply. The agreement with BGC was announced 2 years ago as part of a broader energy reform effort aimed at transforming the country's electricity sector.
Where is the line drawn between BPL and BGC? What we are suffering as a nation is at the hands of a failed deal. And to distract, they're pointing at hardworking Bahamians and telling you what? They're making salaries. Okay, we have an industrial agreement that dictates all of that, okay? And it was just registered. The government entered in a deal with the BEWU, and that's where these things are derived from. But I am quite sure that our workers are going far above and beyond.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonik Toot.
Okay, so many things to get to. So this $8 million is being thrown about there. Not too sure if it's $8 million, but they're getting quite a bit. I want to remind you of what we reported back in February, and this is when BPL was, because we still didn't know anything about the deal with Pike and iGrid and Bahamas Grid. When they dumped, I was saying 3,000 pages of the agreement, and when everybody had to go through that very slowly to pick out the pieces. But this is what Candy Dames listened to this. It could be $8 million, it could be more than $8 million, who knows? But anyway, Bahamas Power and Light must on a monthly basis pay to Bahamas Grid Company all transmission and distribution system revenues it has calculated, whether or not it has actually collected those revenues. So if you all don't pay your bills, BPL still has to pay BGC. Under the agreement, the government has entered into with U.S.-based Pike Corporation's Bahamian entity, Island Grid Solutions, to upgrade the T&D network on New Providence. All of the revenue generated is the sole property of BGC, the special purpose vehicle created to take ownership of the network from BPL. The agreement states that the T&D system revenues shall be calculated on the basis of kilowatt hours billed by BPL and not on the basis of kilowatt hours billed and collected. So under the agreement, those revenues are specified as 5.5 cents per kilowatt hour for the first 5 years, which represents a significant chunk of BPL's monthly revenues. And so, if you do the math, I'm somebody out there, and you could, it's going to be a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
That is a lot.
And
so who knows how? But it's crazy, this deal. Who this person might deserve an award for deal making. But let's talk about what Kyle Wilson said. He's putting a lot of this on Christina Alston, the chair. But is that right? Does that make sense, or should he be pointing at somebody else? Other people.
He should be pointing the fingers at all of them above him and himself.
Wow.
I think they should just get rid of all of them.
Who's all of them?
The chairman, the manager above him, and of course, the person who's in charge of BPL now.
Who's that?
You want me to say it?
Yeah, the minister?
The minister.
The Minister of Energy.
Yes. Start afresh.
Yeah, it's wacky on every level. We don't know what BGC is. We don't know what's going on. They're having problems. They don't have staffing. They are still relying on BPL. They're talking nonsense when they do speak. They're telling people to go on the beach and not charge your devices because it's overloading the system. Wow. And so that is a failure. BPL's got all kinds of internal issues, always has and always will be, it appears.
Yeah, but
nothing's working.
We have to come clean. We have to come clean with the Bahamian people. Like, seriously, these types of things, first of all, I want to know. I want to see into the books of BGC as well. You know, because break it down. You're going to tell me 5.5%? I want to see it monthly. How much you're getting, how much is going to. I want to see who's on the board. All of these things, the Bahamian people need to know who these people are.
And the shareholders.
Okay, and the shareholders. Because, I mean, this is ridiculous right now. And now, like I said, he is now pointing at the chairman. Well, she needs to go too. Because if she knows that's how much you're making, come on. Whoever has put into place the fact that you can make this a yearly salary, I want to know your yearly salary too. All of that needs to be transparent. And BPL has always been like right there, sitting down in the shadows. Basically, you never knew how much they make, but they make a really good sum.
We were talking about this off air years ago. We used to work together at the Tribune, and years ago we came into, because it was
about
not
20
easy.
years ago.
Well, we were very young.
Yes.
Yeah, it was more than 20.
All right. And what?
Much more than 20.
What did you say?
But it wasn't like you could, just because there was no freedom. If you think we don't have freedom of information now, my God, the way we were living back in the 90s around here. So we did a story on the salaries at BPL, BEC at the time, right? And we came into the information.
And what was it, Dwight?
I wrote the story on it, and I was literally in tears because what the lowest salaried worker was making was much more than I was making as a reporter.
Exactly.
And that was like the messenger or janitor or janitress one. Why am I here?
You see?
Why am I doing this?
Exactly.
This doesn't make any sense. I could just be a messenger, which no offense to any messengers or janitors out there, but BPL is where it's at. Let's hear from you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan, and good morning to the lady in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
I'm sickened, especially when you have young children, etc., right? I wanted to share this with you. Amidst all of this BS, right? There's a friend of mine who helped me out in the little upholstery shop. He does it also. And so he used to do the work from home sometimes. And so I just learned from him, from Monday in the Angleston area. I had called and mentioned I saw them standing around the transformer in the basement or whatever, but they have already completed the work. I think the power came on in Angleston.
Are you there? What happened? You're breaking up. Okay. You might have to call us back. Let's take another call. Good morning. Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight, you asked a question concerning the 5.5 cents. It comes to be $8 million per month.
Well, especially now with the kilowatt, the amount of energy we're all using, I'm sure.
They get right. The 5.5 cents, I think, is a production, whatever it is you say. But when you look at their baseline, or what they produce with 86% consumed by BPL customers based on the National Energy Policy document, they're getting about $8 million per month at the 5.5 cents per kilowatt. But we produce roughly about 2 billion kilowatts annually. So whatever amount you have, just times it by 2.2 billion. But if you take the 86%, times it by 1.75 billion kilowatts. So whatever they get 10 cents times 1.8 billion by 10 cents, and that's what you'll see they get monthly.
Yeah. It's crazy. 8 million. For what? For what?
We don't know.
Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air.
Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. As a customer who pays their bills, I care less about all the bureaucracy and all the political implications. I just want the power to work. For me, to get rid of the union, all the executives, because you're paying all this money as a customer and you still don't have reliable power. So I could care less about all who's not getting paid or who's getting paid. I feel like if these people are making all this overtime, if the power is reliable, I wouldn't even care. But what's killing me is all this money is being made from Pike and all these other people, and we still don't have reliable power. So that's my concern.
Yeah.
I mean, pay the money, but at least show that the normal consumer have something to show for it. For persons who work from home or who remote in, do different jobs or whatever, this is not reliable and it sucks. That's my concern.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I understand the frustration. Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
See, but that's the thing, Dwight. The average Bahamian, we don't have time for that. We just want it to work, like you said, and the amount of money is being paid to them. We're oblivious to that. Because who has the time? You're trying to make ends meet here. You have time to be looking at who. Now, I'll let you know, it will frustrate you. It's going to frustrate us. But just, please, I'm paying my bill. Let my light be on at the end of the day.
Right.
That's all.
And every day. Let's take a couple more calls, and we got to get to your messages. Really quickly, caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Hi, are you there?
Yeah, man, all is well.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, sir. Listen, the whole problem with BPL is structure. You know, you need a proper structure. The government need to bring someone in to run BPL. Okay, we have BMs, we try BMs to do these things, but then everybody knows somebody. You understand me? And that's the bottom line. We need structure on these. All these government entities need structure.
When you say bring in somebody, you mean like a foreign company?
Bring in a foreigner to run these operations because...
So you remember when they tried
let me
this
tell you
with...
something. I live on a family island, right? If you see someone up an accident, knock down a pole, 7 o'clock this morning, you know when they come to fix that? After 6. So you need some place with a structure who operates like, we call for the emergency, go deal with it. That's our problem. Bahamians worrying about overtime. If you work overtime, pay you for what you do. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be that big. Wow. You shouldn't get punished. A person shouldn't have to punish all the tell they feel when they'll knock off now to go overtime. Then they bring 20 fellas there, and everybody stand at one place and waking. That's all killing us. We need structure in the country, proper structure that people could follow and law abide, you know what I mean? And then with all this overtime, just hire some more people. And because the more the money you spend, you hire with 6 or 7, or even 100% you got higher.
Well, I mean, they have to be trained, right? They have to know what they're doing. And we did hear from BGC, the hiring they're doing, there are people coming out of BTVI. So young people who are just...
I agree.
But
we do get familiar, you know. When we have Bahamians working, it's too familiar.
Wow. Well, we tried that before, remember, with Power Secure? I mean...
No, but we just need honest persons. We need persons who have a concern for what is going on in these corporations. And we need them to do their job and not worry about who is who.
Wow.
Just do it.
Power Secure was working, if you ask me.
They were.
Things weren't as bad as they are now.
Exactly.
But as soon as the administration changed...
See, and
that
that's
was
another
the end
problem.
of that.
Why couldn't they just go and serve on?
And Power Secure was, I believe...
but that's our problem.
That wasn't that? Yes, that was with the... which one was it? I think
six
Davis was... No, Davis was the Minister of Works. And that was under...
Yes, that was about 8 years ago.
Maybe a little more.
10?
But that was when was Hurricane Matthew? It was around that time. But as soon as Minnis got in, that was done.
Oh.
Well, this text.
You like to anyway.
What? What was that?
Yeah. I mean, no, it wasn't. COVID happened.
We've been up and down. It's been up and down. It was bad. Power Secure was in. There were growing pains, definitely, and then it stabilized a bit. The hurricane, that was rough. But they stabilized it. Then the administration changed. It was rough. And then COVID came and it stabilized. And then this is a wild roller coaster. And we've been going through it for such a long time.
But oh my goodness, this year is just a series of unfortunate events.
This is like all those years rolled into one. Yeah. This texture says, I find it funny that we question our local talent when we gladly accept it if consultants were brought in and made twice that amount. We need transparency, but this is a leadership issue. Just pay the employees. Wow. Another texter says, I find it strange. The same union president who's calling for the CEO or the chair to resign is suddenly, what? Okay. Classic case of switching the narrative. My question is, if they stop the overtime, will that stop the power outages? You're not the only one wondering about that. This person says, I'm an electrical engineer, and no one else in the world can put in that much overtime and still be standing. The full system is corrupt. Until the BGC contract is canceled and the proper system put in place, including hiring the persons with institutional knowledge back, we should all stop paying our bills. Whoa. Well,
I don't know if I could take that heat. But hey, something needs to be done to show them we are serious. Now, who's with us? Who's going to do it? Are you?
I mean, if the workers could ensure that the power will stay on.
Yeah. If they're, they would have to be in agreement with us.
Right. This would be a massive protest.
Massive protest.
We ain't paying, but you better make sure stay on. And then we'll show them something.
We'll show them.
Plenty of people will be in jail. Plenty of people. The whole island will be a colony. New Australia.
Get the generator.
New Australia. A penal colony. Ah, boy. What is this $8 million per month to BGCSE? Well, yes, BGCSE indeed. The F average here.
But he's deflecting big time there, though.
Let's look deeper into that. Well, I mean, that came out early in the year when they threw 3,000 pages at us. Say, y'all want to know what we're doing? Here, read this. 3,000 pages. Wow. They're trying to make this about the union president. Well, I think he's trying to make it about him, too. Who is the manager and the board who approved this? Okay. Everybody's just trying to cause you not to remember that the power keeps going off.
Yes.
Right? They're all working hard.
And everybody is deflecting to something else.
Yeah.
Because he brought up the $8 million because he doesn't want everybody to look at the $200,000 that he's making. And now he's blaming the chairman, but
questioned how much we're paying them and why as well. Because, again, they don't have any institutional knowledge and they're hiring kids from BTVI because no one wants to work for them. So
I'm coming to apply because I need some overtime.
You with the money you're paying
Look
them.
What they paying the janitors, trust me, as a teacher, I'm sure they're making more.
Wow. My son is a linesman at BPL, and I watch my son get called out at all hours of the night. I watch him getting home in the evening, and before he can even change his clothes, he gets called out. Wow. I pray for him and all of his coworkers in his field. Give overtime where it's due. Some people are just crooked and greedy. I'm sure they're working very hard. There's got to be.
Yes,
again,
and
the
thank you.
number of
Thank you.
notices about outages, things are happening every hour.
Mm-hmm.
So people are definitely working overtime.
And not only that, every time you say or mention a thunderstorm, I cringe.
That's not when you have problems.
Well, that's
it's sunny days.
But
sunny days with no clouds in the sky.
Well, I get scared when I see rain, Dwight. I'm so sorry.
Rain, wind.
I put my phone in. I don't care if it's at 95.
The neighbor is sneezing. Be afraid. Be afraid. Weekend. Be afraid. Sunday. Oh, they love Sunday. Be afraid.
But ma'am, we'll be praying for your son and all of those workers. Because they do a good job. They do work hours on end, and that is, But I mean, the overtime for some people, we can't accept that.
Wow. The person says BPL needs competition. Their monopoly on energy has made them complacent and lousy.
I agree. It did wonders for BTC.
You mean competition?
Mhm.
BGC sounds like a sweet blue water PLPD. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah.
Only 1.25% of what BGC is getting.
Okay. Wow. Can't read some of these messages. Definitely not. So this is awkward. This is a mess. This is just coming in from the police force, right? This is they posted this on social media just about an hour ago, and I know this is an awkward transition, but this is a very sad story. Death investigation underway on Friday, August 14th. Today, police launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of a 10-month-old baby who was brought into the hospital unresponsive. According to the initial report, shortly before 3:45 a.m., police were alerted by medical personnel that the infant had been brought to the hospital unresponsive and bleeding from the mouth. Officers were dispatched to investigate and upon arrival spoke with a medical doctor who reported that a man had brought the child in for medical attention. So investigators spoke with the driver who told police that he'd been traveling along Prince Charles Drive in a 2013 Nissan Versa with his girlfriend's 10-month-old daughter, unrestrained in the front seat. What is going on? 3 o'clock in the morning? Unrestrained in the front seat, 10-month-old.
In the front seat?
He reported that he suddenly swerved to avoid a collision with another vehicle, causing the infant to fall to the floor of the vehicle.
Oh, my.
The driver stated that he then took the child to her mother in Nassau Village, where they fed her. Shortly afterwards, they noticed the infant appeared to be in distress and immediately transported her to the hospital for medical attention. Upon arrival at the hospital, so I don't know what time the swerving happened, but anyway, they took her there at 3-something. Upon arrival at the hospital, medical personnel rushed the infant to the trauma unit, where several medical professionals attended to her. The child sustained bruising to the left side of her face and head, as well as a fractured femur. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Despite the best efforts, the child was pronounced dead at 4:16 a.m.
Okay. That is really sad, Dwight. I don't even know what to say about that. First of all, if you are taking a child anywhere, that's a baby. It should be in a car seat.
That's the law.
The law, in the back, not in the front seat. Unrestrained, that means the child was in the seat.
10 months old.
And not only that, why would you take the child straight? You had swerved and the child fell. You take the child straight to the doctor, straight to the hospital, because you don't know what. Because I'm sure the child was crying. You know, we really have to think before we do certain things. And this was not somebody.
And then these injuries seem a little strange as well. I don't know what happened, but that's a lot.
The child obviously probably had a concussion to the head.
I mean, well, I don't know if it went the way this person is saying, but this is complete madness.
See, and that's another thing too. Oh my goodness.
And again, I feel sorry for the family. Condolences,
Yes, condolences
but you
to
people
you.
who keep leaving your children in people who are not their parents' custody.
Yeah,
This
you have
is-
to take the
please.
responsibility for certain things.
Nonsense.
You know, my children are 8 and 21, but my 8-year-olds, I don't leave them anywhere. If they can't go, I don't go. I'm not going to give them to any stranger or any person who, and especially if they're not going to look after them. Oh my goodness.
Let's take a break. We're going to break for news and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
What's left of my containing comprehension as I take on the stress of the mess that I've made. Don't know if I even care for grown, if it's just alone. Yeah, and I guess the bad can get better. God still the growing pains that keep.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Attention All-Star students.
The season for school success starts now at John Bull Business Center. Stock up on notebooks, backpacks, pens, calculators, art supplies, and more with 20% off school supplies and 10% off teaching aids. Shop now through September 12th, and every purchase automatically enters you to win one of 3 Apple prizes. This year is your season to shine. Gear up, save big, and start your school year like a champ with John Bull Business Center.
Did you know that world-class medicine is just a quick flight away in Tampa? Tampa General is Florida's premier academic health system and one of America's top hospitals. Our global medicine program delivers advanced treatment options, assists with coordinating travel, and provides cultural support from a multilingual team. Discover the power of academic medicine at Tampa General's Global Medicine Program. For more, visit tgh.org/global.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice. It's a necessity. For businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
At Star General, you can go gold. Comprehensive car insurance covers loss or damage from accidents, fire, theft, and third-party liability. But the Gold package gives you increased coverage for rental car and windscreen, personal accident, medical benefits, deductible waiver, and 24-hour roadside assistance where available. Our Star General Gold package also gives you up to $2,500 for accidental damage to a rental car anywhere in the Bahamas. Go gold with Star General. Insurance made simple.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves. Yes. Real talk. I'm not just saying this Real talk. to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find color in every day.
Hey, did you ever sort out the car insurance?
I thought you did.
No, I sent it to you.
You sent me the reminder.
Okay, hold on. Okay, done.
Done?
Yeah, renewed, paid.
NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers gives you access to a full-service insurance portal where you can get an instant quote, renew, pay, and manage your documents. All fully online. With NUA, you have a complete insurance portal. Start now with an instant quote at nuainsurance.com.
Wendy's is spicing things up this summer with the new Jalapeno Ranch Cheeseburger. A hot, juicy beef patty topped with
spicy jalapenos, creamy ranch sauce, melted cheese, and fresh toppings for the perfect balance of cool and spicy. Every bite brings bold flavor that keeps you coming back for more. Turn up the flavor with the new jalapeno ranch cheeseburger at Wendy's today. Available for a limited time only.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, August 14th, 2026. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Cherie Smith-Munnings, my special guest co-host today. And this morning we are talking about the Bahamas Protected Areas Fund. They've got a lot of exciting things going on. They're going to tell us all about it this morning. We're very happy to have Executive Director Karen Pandan and Grant Manager Shakara Lightburn with us. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Good morning, Bahamas.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Let's get your mic up there, Karen. Yep. Okay. Get a little closer to it for us.
Good morning.
There
It's
you
great
go.
to be here.
Thank you. Great
Thank
to have
you.
you with us. Okay, so let us all know what Bahamas Protected Areas Fund is all about.
The Bahamas Protected Areas Fund is a grants making organization. But a little bit more than that. Our purpose is to find sustainable financing for the management of biodiversity, conservation, a little bit more narrowly, I guess we could say, protected areas. So we are that financing mechanism that makes management effectiveness of protected areas possible. But we also have a mandate for climate adaptation. We have a mandate, one of my former chairs would say, for covering the Bahamas like ZNS. But we do, of course.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll let you slide this
Give
time.
me a black. But of course, we have a mandate for not only implementation on the ground, which we know is very difficult, but also for providing funding for policy decisions, education, public awareness, anything and all things related to biodiversity conservation and climate adaptation.
Okay, how long has it been now, and how did it come about?
So we were established by an act of parliament in 2014, and then we were operationalized. I was on the board for a minute, and then, of course, with a background in finance, the then chair and the then board said, well, why don't you decide to just take this baby and make it work?
Oh, wow.
And so we were operationalized in 2017, and from then we've been running towards bringing in the funding that is necessary for protected areas. You know, the need is $200 million a year. So we're working to make some sort of dent in that number for the country.
So you are quasi-government, a government? Is it? How does it work exactly?
We are an independent NGO, but
Okay.
we do support and work alongside the government of the Bahamas on certain national conventions and protocols. And we also have a certain number of government officials on our board, but we are an independent body. And our independence, of course, is indicated by certain international accreditations that we currently hold.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let's talk about the work that you've done since 2014, 2017. Point to
course.
us the successes. What
Yes,
you've done
absolutely. So beyond the formalization, the operationalization, we were very active after Hurricane Dorian came in. As a matter of fact, Hurricane Dorian accelerated a lot of our platforms and our operations. We were able to support the assessments and the recovery immediately after Hurricane Dorian in the affected islands, Abaco, Grand Bahama, and so forth. Since then, we have been working not only with the government of the Bahamas, but particularly with the government of the Bahamas to get the funding in the country. We have worked with the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund. We have worked with a couple of other donors like the Waltz Foundation, the Lombard ODA, and Shakara, my grants manager, will tell you a little bit more about that. But more recently, we've been working with the Nature Conservancy, IDB and others, the government of the Bahamas, on a very critical and very innovative mechanism, the Bahamas Debt Conversion Project for Marine Conservation. So a lot of our current work, and we've been working with this from 2023, 2024, when we actually signed the agreement, and building the capacity in-house in order to assist with that. We've also been trying to get the BPAF, as it's called, BPAF, accredited along international lines, international agencies. So there's a body in country that can help to stand at that world stage, but also translate what is needed, get the funding that's needed, and make conservation happen at home. And when I speak of conservation, I don't just mean what most Bahamians believe, that saving a leaf, but I'm talking about sustainable development, meaning we need our assets, our national assets, not just because we want to save them, but to build lives, build communities, and see a good future for our children.
Okay, so explain to us, how does it work? How does the funding work? Why do people outside the country get it and want to contribute to the fund? And, and how much work does it take to get others to give to you?
I'm glad you asked that question. So apart from our dynamic personalities in the office, we are based on relationship. It's also because the fund is accountable. We are audited annually. The fund is responsible. We've got the systems in place and the people in place who can provide the type of fiscal responsibility that's needed. We've got excellent representation. Our current chair is Marcus Cheatham, who's a businessman. But we've always had a certain quality of board members. We've had politicians like Mr. DeVoe, and we have had politicians like Colin Higgs and so forth. We have had the Bruno Roberts. We have had the Robert Lotmores on our board. So good governance has always been, as a matter of fact, the heart of BPAF. And the other thing I should point out here is we are based on international best practices for conservation trust funds, of which we are. And we are part of a regional body as well. And so we are held accountable. Every year our operations are assessed. Are we investing properly? Are we managing properly and all of this? And that information goes to our board, and it goes to donors, and it goes to government and everyone else. And so people could relax and say, yes, we made a good investment in the Bahamas protected areas, and they're making impact.
Wow.
I think that's what is critical, the impact on the ground.
Okay, right. So there's an article in the paper, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about NGOs and coming to the fund. Let's talk about that. I guess
I'll let Shakara, who's the brainchild behind this, I'll let her run with that.
Okay, good morning again. As Karen said, we want to bring conservation to the ground level into our community. So we work with a lot of grants. We just had our first call for proposal last year under the debt conversion project. And out of that first call, we awarded 9 grants to various nonprofits on the ground. That's org Bahamas, Friends of the Environment, Waterkeepers, Blue Action, and many others across the length and breadth of the Bahamas who are doing great work in conservation and helping to replant mangroves, helping to train our youth in different areas. So we just had our second call, closed out our second call, and we're waiting for board approval for the second call of grantees. We had 9 the first time. Second time now we had about 20 applications.
Oh, wow.
So we've really doubled in the amount of response that we've been getting for funding for small for nonprofits, those who are the usual suspects who've been in the business for a little while, and those who are just starting out. And there's a wide range of areas that you can apply for funding for, whether it's research, whether it's training, whether it's even media. One of our grantees is doing a documentary on the work that the other grantees are doing.
Oh,
and so
okay.
you just have to be creative with your story. And this is one of the reasons we're having these grant writing proposal workshops to help people develop their ideas and see how, let them know that conservation is everybody's business. You can attack this from so many different angles. And in the reason now, I guess I'll segue into our workshops in Acklands and New Providence. We really want to meet people on the ground and push blue economy. We aren't able to fund right now individuals, but we are able to fund groups. And we're the reason for the training is that we want to help people organize into small nonprofits, small community groups, become legally stable, so we're able to work with them and teach them how to tell their story. Many of the people in the communities, they have better ideas than we have. We don't want to go in and tell them what to do in their own communities. We want to know what they want to do an assessment, and help them to craft those stories so they're able to access funding
Wow.
from us.
Okay, so we'll get back to the workshops in a bit. But you mentioned it, the 9 that received funding. How much were you talking about?
Oh, 50,000
Each?
50,000 each. Some applied for a little under 50,000. I will say all who applied all who asked for a certain amount, they got what they asked for.
So what are some of the requirements to apply for these funds?
Well, you have to have
the
been
grants?
operating as a nonprofit for at least a year. You have to be up to date with the registrar general, have your certificate. We call it the purple certificate as a nonprofit. Be actually doing work in the field. Have a business license now. There's different requirements, and then your project has to be environmentally and socially viable. It goes through about, let's say, 5 steps before it reaches to the end stage. So I would say it's not just one person that looks at the proposal. Your proposal goes through at least 20 people, because it starts out with us as a secretariat. We have a grants review committee, which is about 11 to 12 people on that committee, and they range from researchers to finance people. In fact, our chair is Nicholas Higgs, who was previously at the Bahamas Development Bank. So we have a range of people on the grants review committee who also look at the proposal, and then we send that to our board, and the board looks at it, and then I'd say you would be pretty proud of yourself if you went through all those people and you were successful afterwards.
Wow.
But yeah, so the key is that we want to make sure our grantees are able to compete on an international stage, not only to apply for funding for us through the trainings. You can apply for funding for us, and you could apply internationally. You want to make them ready to be able to compete on the international stage.
If I could just add as well, there are some broad priorities that we focus on that the board has approved for 2026 to 2030. But generally, as Shakara said, once those activities support, like we said, biodiversity conservation, whether it's reducing threats to biodiversity or improving management effectiveness, or invasive species, it's the concept actually must fall in line with one of those. But Shakara and our team, we've got Alexia Brown, who's our marine conservation manager. They actually would hold your hand and help you to bring it through. We have an ethics and compliance, a male officer on board, and the whole function is to build up a crew of a cadre of entities in the Bahamas who could not only get funding from us, but also from any organization worldwide. I'm happy to say of the 19 that's before our board, I think the value is
1.3 million, yeah.
So we are seeing this uptake, and we are seeing a broadening in the interest. I have said to them, I'd like to get $7 million out the ground out the door this year for our grants funding program. So we're working not only though with NGOs, but we also have a mandate to work with government ministries as well to help them build capacity, whether it's people or equipment they need to do this management.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned ethics. So do you check to see that you've done what you proposed you were going to do?
Yeah,
before
of course.
Yeah. So are we following up with the 9 to see? Yeah, you did it. You did it. Good job.
Of course, no, there's no free money around here. No free money. They are definitely, they sign a partnership. They sign an agreement, and the funding is dispersed in tranches, 4 tranches. So after you complete your first tranche, you're required to submit a financial report as well as a technical report. And then our monitoring evaluation officer will look over that report and make sure it matches with what you said you were going to do. And if you have any, gaps there, we would let you know. We need this documentation. We need this verification. If you said you had a workshop with 20 people, we want to see the signature of those 20 people. We want to see pictures. We want to see any evidence that this actually happened. So we do follow up.
Wow, that's good.
Even if we have to travel to islands, we'll do that. And we'll be a part of whatever your event is having. So we know beforehand what's happening. And you don't get any more money unless we're satisfied.
Oh, wow. And everyone is complied.
Yeah, so far,
Yeah.
we're doing pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with the grants that have been given, have you seen any really innovative ideas for
There are a
protecting
number
our marine
there are a number of
resources?
policy documents, for example, that came out of some of the work that we already did, like Hurricane Dorian. There were documents related to how to restore mangroves. So along the Little Bahama Bank, there were documents related to regenerating fresh water. So a number of ideas that went into it. Some of them were kind of demystified, or but just a general interest in the research and the activities coming from, for example, another good example out of that is this whole activity around community engagement. Waterkeepers Bahamas had an award from us, and out of that, they started to grow mangroves in the backyards. Backyard gardening, I think that's the way. And out of that became this massive upswelling of community engagement. And then from that became the Mangrove Alliance. There's a formal alliance, Waterkeepers, TNC, Bonefish Tarpon and Trust. We always say that the birth of all of that came from that seed funding that we gave them out of Dorian. So yes, there's a lot of innovation. I mean, we're out of Shakara's project that she's leading with community engagement. We want to take the good ideas. She said that the communities know the ideas, they know their needs, and they know what's on the ground. And we want to move some of those ideas. Like, I understand there's some mud in Andres that we can turn into some commercial face cream.
Oh, really?
I don't know if this is true, but that's what we want to do.
Right.
We want to generate wealth for Bahamians
Yeah,
while keeping communities.
Even the seaweed that's washing up, let's say in Auckland, the Crooked Island, if you watched the news 2 weeks ago, all the sargassum is washing up on the shore. That could be turned into biofertilizer and different products, so we can turn that waste into a possibly viable blue economy.
Wow.
And is this information being given in the schools?
About the sargassum?
I mean, about the funds.
Yeah, this is a part of our community engagement now. We're getting
Yeah.
out there.
Our marine conservation manager would like to do a lot more visitations in the schools, Alexia Brown. So we are starting that as well. But the idea is to start where the need is now, work backwards and bring our kids along, because a lot of Bahamians don't understand their futures and how we keep our natural resources.
Right.
And if you can get that out and working with organizations like Brief does that very well.
Yes,
Bahamas National Trust does
Brief
that
is one
well.
of our grantees
Yes,
as well.
we could support that because we don't necessarily have as much as people think we do. We may not have all the capacity, but we certainly know those who do.
Yeah, excellent. So you said right now there are 20 that are seeking funding. I mean, when will you decide who gets it, or will everybody get something?
By the end of the month, when our board meets, and we'll have a final decision by September 1st, because we are launching the third call now.
Right.
By the end of August, we're going to launch the third call to invite people to apply again.
Okay, wow. All right, and can you apply if you...
Yes, but you have to have spent 75% of the funding before you can get any more funding, and be satisfied with the work you've done.
Right.
And the
Compliant.
report. So, yeah, you're compliant with everything.
Wow, we want you all to take over some other things in the country.
We're waiting.
And run it.
We're ready.
Can you run some other things that are not
We're ready.
not making sense?
Accountability.
Oh, wow.
Well, maybe I should also say that we're very excited to know that we have been approved for readiness funding by the Green Climate Fund, which supports the work of the government of the Bahamas with their climate initiatives.
Okay.
The only one. For a point, we were the only organization in the English-speaking Caribbean accredited by UNFCCC as a recognized observer. Now we've got another sort of status, accreditation, so to speak, that enable us to access funds for this country. And we're the first one in this country.
The only organization in the country accredited with the Green Climate Fund now. So now the money doesn't have to go outside the country to another entity to come to do the work in the country. The money can come directly in the country for green climate. And the funding starts at 10 million, right?
About 10 million.
10 million.
Micro.
Project starts, and that's micro,
Wow, okay, so we're just going to stray here, but this is exciting. So how did that come about, and what is the skill set? What do you need to do to be qualified to do the work that you do?
Excellent work, excellent relationships, the ability to show that we are implementing. Show success. Show that you're mean and you're lean, and show that you've got the policies and the governance and the systems in place. It took a lot of effort. And when we speak of accreditation, we don't mean the accreditation in its fullness is yet accredited to deal with readiness proposals. The full accreditation will come in 2027. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Okay.
But we have got excellent financial systems. We make pretty good use of technology, accounting, grants, our grants platform, our reporting platforms are all online. Our websites are all online. We've been pretty transparent and responsible.
And that's the key. Transparency is the key for getting funding from anybody. Any information you want about our grantees and the money we spent, we're open to that information.
Nice.
It's not a secret.
What's your staffing like? How many people do you have?
There are 10 of us now,
okay.
and by July there'll be another 4, so about 14. So we've had rapid, explosive growth.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the workshops. Again, remind folks and who needs to be a part of this, and how do you become a part of this?
Okay, so our first workshop is next week, Wednesday Thursday. We leave on Wednesday. Next week, Thursday, the 20th and 21st in Acklands at Spring Point Community Center. We have about, I think, 24 people registered already. If you go on our Facebook page, you can pre-register. Many of the people from Crooked Island, they're taking the ferry over to Acklands. It just was easier to do that, and I'm so happy with the enthusiasm.
Are they already part of an NGO? Are they thinking about?
They're thinking about it. They have ideas, and that's the point of us going to kind of do an assessment as well to see where they're at. There has been talk of they've told me that there are some NGOs there, so I'd like to meet the principals there, as well as there are other people who want to form NGOs. We're looking to even move into doing a tiered grant program. So maybe if you don't qualify for the $50,000 at first, we'll start you off maybe $5,000, $10,000 to see what you do with that, and kind of you graduate to different levels of funding.
Shakara, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
That small amount that you mentioned is only to help them become properly registered.
Okay. Yes,
properly
legally
formulated and
yeah.
registered, and then after that, Shakara will help them to go along to get.
So we want to make sure that we have to, any funding that we give to organizations, they have to be legal and they have to be compliant with all the government regulations and requirements. So we want to help them to get to that level, and then they can go ahead and start implementing project and building capacity in these communities is important. So the workshop in Acklands is Thursday and Friday, the 20th and 21st, from 3 p.m. And we're going to talk about talking about ideas that they may have in their surrounding communities. Acklands and Crooked Island has quite a few protected areas around them, and many of them, we have a lot of bonefish and guides down there. So there's a lot of biodiversity going on down there. There's a lot of opportunities. So we want to hear their thoughts, hear their ideas, and help them to formulate it into a way that will help them to get access to funding. And then the following week, we'll have a workshop here in New Providence. Usually New Providence is always the bigger workshop at the BAIC Training Center, Soul Trail Road, across from BTVI, and that starts from 9 to 3, and that's the following, it's 27th and 28th of August. Also, it's just a Thursday and Friday, so 9 to 3 o'clock. So everybody is welcome. Those who are part of the, academic organizations, schools, definitely welcome schools. One of our applicants was FemSTEM, and they have a really interesting project that they applied for. Academic organizations, government organizations, community groups, church groups, anybody that has that idea around biodiversity and conservation and feel like they can implement and of course have the structure in place for their organization, definitely invite them to come. Wow. And I think they can benefit from learning how to write proposals as well as how to monitor and evaluate your proposals as you're implementing.
And you said from 9 to 3. That's the length of time for it in Acklands as well?
Yes, 9 to 3 each day, 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And it's a very interactive workshop. I like to, it's not just sitting down watching me, listen to me talk, but it's going to be very interactive. People are going to be put in groups, and actually when you leave the workshop, you should have a somewhat concept and a document that you could start to work on.
And is this going to be an ongoing thing?
Yes.
For the year?
Yes, it's going to be ongoing. The first time we had it was last year, and we've seen our first call of proposal. We didn't really have a training per se, so some of the applications and proposals were a little rough. So it was a little,
proposal writing is
it was a little rough. So, but we have seen since we've had the training and the workshops, the proposals, the quality has improved tremendously.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Tremendously. So definitely that's an incentive for us to continue to build capacity throughout the country. So we have about 10 islands we're going to. We start with Athens and Crooked Island.
Oh, wow.
And then we have Exuma, Long Island, Bimini, and moving up the chain. Some of the family islands say, oh, you always forget us. Everything is Nassau, Grandma, and Abago. But we're starting in the south and we're moving our way up in terms of the training and making sure people have access to this funding.
And that will continue for the rest of the year.
Yes, for the rest of the year.
So
into next year.
Into next year. Okay. Yeah. And I know you said 2 days in Acklands. You don't need to attend both days, or do you?
Yeah, you need to attend both days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And same thing for New Providence.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
And the funding that we provide is conditional on taking the training.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, that's.
And is there a cost?
No cost.
No cost.
No cost.
This is a great opportunity.
Free.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right. So, can you, from what you see, is there a need out there for something specific that you haven't seen anybody come forward as yet, or do you keep that to yourself?
What do you mean in terms of?
There's something that we need to be looking at.
Yeah, like the coral reefs. What specific?
We know they're doing that, but there's just something that you say, well, somebody should think about this, but no one's taken up the mantle yet.
Interestingly enough, I think there are a lot of organizations in this country that have great ideas. There's a lot of research. Admittedly, a lot of that research is out of the country. There are some brilliant environmentalists and conservationists in this country as well. The biggest issue has been the funding and the collective will. And I say that for all the actors. The collective will to find it, the collective will to build those frameworks that will require, that funders require in order to pass money through. I think there is a little bit of the disconnect between conservation and livelihoods, and wealth creation is something we've not seen and that we're working on. So how do I use the sargassum? How do I use mariculture? How do I associate all of the work that's being done in our natural environment and then turn that into opportunity, to grow wealth, not just jobs. And I always say this is my personal belief. We're not speaking about creating more jobs. We're speaking about how do we maintain and use those resources that we have for development. That is the one thing I think that the conservationists and the government don't put together. Governments think of jobs, conservationists think of green, but BPAF is thinking of both. How do we bring them together and make sure, we want to see a lot more attention given to in the schools at that level.
I was just going to say, I think that is going to be one of my aims now. I'm going to go back with this information because the minds of the children need to be stimulated.
Yes. Right.
What can I use the seaweed for?
Yeah.
What can happen? I think there's even generation for power.
Yes.
From under the sea.
Yeah.
So there's so many things.
Some kind of circulate. I'll second that circular economy. Anything that, let's say, turns waste into money or waste into opportunity. For me, I think those types of projects are really good at repurposing, like the island school, or they use cooking oil to make biofuel, and they run most of the vehicles on that.
So we don't really have a recycling program.
No, exactly. Right? So definitely a recycling program. I'd love to see innovative projects like that.
And it's time to increase the level of thinking.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
we've only been taught to kind of, protect the fish, the conchs, and stuff like that, but there's so much more.
Yeah. And then there are other areas that we support. Solar integration. We had a number of solar integration projects, and under Hurricane Dorian, we helped with the solarization of Forest Heights. Thank you. And then the University of the Bahamas Research Center up east in Grand Bahama. Oh. We've got 300 days of sunshine. Why are we not doing something for Bahamians? There's a lot of talk, even in the papers today. we can help with that.
Yeah.
And we can help with the research that's required to bring this on, wind energy, solar energy, electric,
absolutely.
all
We keep
these
saying
are
that about
opportunities.
the glass window bridge in Eleuthera.
Yes.
You've got to be able to use some wave energy
Yes.
with that, right?
Yeah,
okay, so this is a whole other show, but tell us very briefly about Forest Heights. What happened there with the solar?
So, of course, with Forest Heights, in that Dorian sitting on Abaco in Grand Bahama for 2 days, they lost all their electricity, all the connections and the powers that be. I mean, the infrastructure was down. So, Friends of Environment wrote into BPAF and asked for the fund to fund a number of the to enable the children to return to school with power, because of course they weren't able to go back to school. So we went in there, they got the contractors in, we went in with the funding and we checked, and of course not only were they able to solarize, but they also able to get a training program established for young men and women who didn't realize that there are careers in this field. Wow. So that also started as well, and it was really, really exciting to see. We interviewed a couple of the kids who were in that program that they started, this solarization and maintenance program. And we were excited to see one young man said, I didn't have anything quite in my mind about what I wanted to do. And a young lady, and after this, I'm excited. I think I'll stick with this field. So out of all of these, you go in to do one thing and then 2 or 3 other things happen as a result of that. So that went very, very well. I'm really proud of that.
That's amazing. That program's still going on?
That solarization is still in place. And then, of course, we turned around and gave, I understand, That's still in place, of course.
Okay.
That's the genesis of what is possible. But then we'll take that at BPAF and do other things. And I'm just happy to say that Shakara is heading that.
So we want to bring our grantees together. So we don't have these, we like to operate in silos in this country. So the idea is to bring all of them together so they can kind of feed off each other, and we're not reinventing the wheel. We're kind of working off each other. So hopefully I'm able to have a whole conference with all of our grantees when we get enough of them, and they can share their ideas, what they've been doing, and see how they could work together and partner.
And you've got to come back on the show and talk about this, because people every day you hear them say, oh, nobody's doing this and this, but there are a lot of exciting things happening in the country.
And I want to just say one more quick thing. We have a MOU with the Bahamas Development Bank as well. And what we agreed is, look, where there are opportunities for even climate change mitigation, which is, of course, when they're dealing with that aspect of it, we'll work together. The Bahamas Protected Areas Fund may not be able to give a loan for a particular activity, but then we could say to the person that comes to us, okay, we can't give you this, but then we could direct you to the Bahamas Development Bank. We're also working with the Office of the Prime Minister, who's working with Access Accelerated and so forth. So we're saying if we can't do it for ourselves, we can certainly put you, connect you to someone or some organization who's able to give you that. There may be that technical strength. There may be the funding that, all things are possible, but we need to know. We need the research. We need to do the observation. We need the awareness. What is going on?
We have
and
to
how
work,
can we help?
We have to work together. I mean, I think people like to do things by themselves, but we get so much further, and it's so much easier for us to work with you when you work as a group, as an organization, and you're upstanding and transparent with what you're doing, and we're able to trust you. And then if we could trust you, people could trust us, and donors to trust us as well with their funding.
Great stuff. All right, so remind folks how we can find out more information about Bahamas Protected Areas Fund, BPAF, as you say.
BPAF, yeah. BPAF, so not BPAF. I know people are saying BPAF, just BPAF, right? So we have our website, is www.bahamasprotected.com, as well as our Facebook page, and we have Instagram right now. So
we have LinkedIn
as well. So you can check us out on any of those platforms.
Yeah, and of course, our number is 698-1152. And we can also reach us at grants@bahamasprotected.com.
And for the workshops, do you need to register, or can you just show up?
No, I would prefer for you to register, only because we have refreshments and I got to take into account how many people I have. So please register. You can go on our Facebook page. The links are there for both the Acklands and New Providence workshop.
Wonderful. So you've got to come back.
Yes.
Give us an update.
Definitely.
Bring some of the
We'll be
folks.
back.
Yeah, and folks who benefited from the funds, from the grants.
Thank you.
I told Karen we have to come outside. We were inside, so we outside now.
I don't know how since 2014, 2017 is the first time you've been on the show, right?
we had and I did not talk about this, but we had a corporate engagement strategy which we released. I don't remember, 2017 or somewhere around there, or 2019, and COVID came, of course.
Yeah.
So now that I've got able bodies, like my managers in place, then we can turn around.
Yeah, it was only her, so she
do
was
more
doing
of the
a lot.
engagement.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've never quite been alone. It's always been
Yeah,
people
well, for two of them, for two.
Well, keep up the great work that you're
Thank
doing.
you.
This is
Thank
wonderful,
you.
very exciting. I'm encouraged, and good to know that this is
Thank
happening
you
out
so
there.
much for having us on the show.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Appreciate
stuff.
it.
Again, Karen Panton and Shakara Lightburn, thank you so much from BPATH, Bahamas
You're very
Protected
welcome.
Areas Fund.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Bahamas.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break and then be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Event Business on a Friday on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Hey folks, thanks for your patience. We'll be taking off very shortly. You should be wheels up in about 40 minutes. And due to a bumpy ride, snacks and beverage service has been suspended. AC has given us some trouble. Sorry, folks. And Wi-Fi is out. And so is the entertainment. Yeah, I'm sorry about the smell, folks. We are aware.
I know.
Just one more quick note. We are going to have to deplane.
Come on!
We're like the plane ride that isn't a nightmare. CG Atlantic agents and brokers. Good like that.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
New school year, new gear. From uniforms to laptops, a Fidelity personal loan can help you check every item off of your kid's school list. Jump into back-to-school season with ease. Apply for a Fidelity personal loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Shop early to get uniforms and catch Janae's Uniform Center's buy 4 get 1 free sale. Free monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and character work desk. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirt pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit Janae's Uniform Center early. Beat the back to school rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road back to school special. Restrictions apply.
Tell them. Orthopedics, where movement becomes medicine and treatments become triumphs. At Cleveland Clinic, it's more than just repairing what's broken. It's how we put ourselves back together to reconstruct, rehabilitate, and restore the things that give us life. The future of orthopedics is already in motion. For every care in the world, Cleveland Clinic.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Sunshine financing for a sing-a-ling-a-ling. Hey, hey. When you need that money, car home vacation every. Don't be profiling in this party. What? I want that 000. I burn on there cause I got no money. You only hear me, eh? You better go by Sunshine Finance and ask them for the 000 promotion.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. City Bahamas is hoping to work with the government on another fuel hedge for BPL this year, as continued volatility in global oil markets creates uncertainty over future fuel costs. That's according to City Bahamas Country Officer John Lopez. Speaking to Guardian Business this week, Lopez said City helped the government complete a fuel hedge for BPL in December 2025 before heightened volatility in oil prices, and believes a similar arrangement could provide protection against unpredictable movements this year. Fuel hedging allows a buyer to reduce its exposure to fluctuations in fuel prices by establishing financial protection against future price movements. For BPL, fuel costs are particularly important because changes in the cost of fuel used to generate electricity ultimately affects the cost of providing power to consumers. City is also rapidly integrating artificial intelligence across its global operations, with the technology already being used in areas ranging from fraud detection and credit analysis to know your customer processes and customer service. Lopez says that the speed at which AI is developing means financial institutions cannot afford to treat the technology as something for the distant future, particularly for a bank operating across numerous markets. And downtown Nassau needs to become a premium destination in order to take advantage of the growing cruise ship passenger business coming in, according to the co-founder of John Watling's distillery, Pepin Argamasilla. In a statement, he is asking whether Bahamians are properly leveraging the extraordinary opportunities cruise tourism has created. You can read more on his concerns in today's Guardian Business section. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Thursday, your market movers, Commonwealth Bank moving 44,172 shares, closing unchanged at $4.06. Famgard 1,000, up 50 cents to $8.50. Consolidated Water, unchanged at $6.30. And Emir Incorporated, up 6 cents, closing at $12.53. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 3,232.41, up 0.5. Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And Cherie Smith-Munnings, just a reminder, it's just a couple of hours to go now. The Summer Escape giveaway is coming down to the final moment. One lucky listener is about to win today between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. You've got to be listening to Guardian Radio 96.9 or Star 106.5 FM. Your name could be called. One name will be drawn live, and it could be your name. So you've got to keep your phones close. If your name is called, you have to answer the phone when they call you to collect your prize. If you don't answer, they're going to draw another name, and they'll keep drawing until they find somebody who answers the phone.
I'm ready.
Don't be in a meeting.
Open.
Don't be busy. Don't be driving. Pull over at 12 o'clock and wait. Keep listening until your name is called. One call, one winner, one unforgettable summer escape.
Oh,
don't miss
so
it
awesome.
today. Don't miss it today. So, the successful, the box has been overflowing every day.
Yeah.
So it's been a great promotion.
So they're gonna shake it up though.
Did you see the big barrel outside?
No, I didn't.
When you go outside, you'll see this huge
Okay,
huge
they better
barrel.
shake that up
It's
because
like a whole
I was
person
like
could
about
fit
a
in
couple
there.
2 weeks ago.
When you put your
Yeah.
well, no, it's many entries, so it's going to be exciting. So stay tuned, folks. Don't go anywhere, and have your phones charged. Make sure you got minutes on it, if that's how it works, and be ready for that.
Oh yeah.
Cherie Smith-Munnings has been great spending the summer with you.
Yes,
You're
thank you
going back
so
to
much,
school. School's opening soon.
I said don't mention that. Dwight.
What? Sorry. Midterm, maybe you'll come back versus maybe. Yeah?
Yeah, whenever you need
Okay.
me. Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Enjoy. Thank you again. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll be back on Monday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, be safe, please. And stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.